I'm sure you've all heard about the Djerf Avenue controversy, and I want to dive a little bit deeper into that. I want to analyze Matilda Djerf's style, why it's so appealing, and how you can replicate it without purchasing Djerf Avenue. Because let me go on a quick rant before we begin. Most of her stuff is made out of polyester, cheaper materials, and is at fast fashion quality. And honestly, you can achieve her look just by going thrifting and keeping high quality fabrics and materials in mind and achieve the same look. What you like about her look more has to do with silhouette and styling and certain elements that we're going to get into in this video beyond the specific pieces she's wearing. And I want us to train our eyes to kind of see that nuance and think beyond the influencer and beyond the brands. So today we'll be using Matilda Djerf as an example of how you can achieve Scandi style. Grab your tea or coffee and let's get into it. Welcome or welcome back to my channel, The United Colors of Style, where the divas are into details. So without further ado, let's dive into it. At number one, we have relaxed silhouette. And Matilda does a really good job of knowing her lines, knowing her proportions, and knowing what fit works for her. So she never wears anything too tight or too baggy. And I think that is a big contributing factor to her perceived effortless style. And if she does wear something on the more tighter or more fitted side, say a tighter top, she'll always wear a looser bottom and vice versa. So I think she does a really good job of striking that balance. And she also does a really good job of striking the balance between more feminine silhouettes and items and more masculine silhouettes and items. So, like an oversized blazer with a tube top or a more fitted cardigan with a really looser trench coat. So, it's just all about that balance and that juxtaposition. Next up, we have rule of thirds. And rule of thirds essentially is all about proportions. And like I said in the previous section, Matilda really knows her proportions and her lines. And essentially, with the rule of thirds, 2/3 of the outfit is comprised of one item, and then the other item, your other top or bottom, is the other third. So it's easier to show through the pictures, but essentially, she always wears high waisted and high rise things to kind of elongate her vertical line. And I know she's been kibby body typed as a soft natural, and I'm actually a soft natural as well. So this is very harmonious with our body type, and that's why it looks so good. And she looks so like effortlessly cool because it's very harmonious with her proportions. Matilda also has a very muted color palette, so it's not only very simple minimalistic colors, but also the colors themselves are on the more muted gradient scale. And I think this is harmonious with whatever her color season is. And again, I'm referencing a lot about like kibby body types and color seasons. And I know not everyone subscribes to that, but I really think Matilda has taken the time to kind of know what looks good specifically on her, which is why she looks so effortless. And that's why I really stress on my channel, it's so important to know you and tailor things to you and your personal style in order to achieve that same effortlessness that she has. And this brings me to the next portion, which is all about high quality basics. And the way that Matilda's outfits drape around her is so indicative of the high quality fabrics and materials that she uses exclusively in her outfits. And this is funny because a lot of complaints about her brand, Djerf Avenue, are about how most everything is polyester, and it will not achieve that same drape and that same way that it hangs off her body if it's not a high quality material, which is why I highly suggest going to your local thrift stores or shopping on secondhand websites to get that high quality material. So, examples of high quality materials are wool, silk, cotton, leather. And if it's not 100%, at least be 80%, I would say, to achieve that same fall. So now that we've gotten her general style elements out of the way, I wanted to suggest a couple of things that I see consistently throughout her wardrobe that we can emulate in our wardrobe. And I think it's really important, and I really want to stress that you do need to have a good understanding of your silhouette proportions and body type if you want to get that same effortless that she has. Because unfortunately, how it looks on her will not be always how it's going to look on you, because we all are different. We're shaped differently, we have different form, different body types, etc. And that shouldn't be a negative. I think we should celebrate that. But if you do want that perceived effortlessness, it is a contributing factor that she knows her proportions and she knows her body type. So, number one are leather block heels, and you can really play with this as much or as little as you want to. You can get it in black, in brown, skinny heel, thick heel, chunky heel, etc. She usually goes for a more minimalistic, muted, kind of middle ground heel. But again, I think everything should be made into your own personal style. So, I don't want you to just copy and paste it, but I do want to give you some options. So I think a leather block heel would definitely be one. Next are fitted long sleeves, trousers, and bootcut jeans. And I think she does a really good job of balancing fitted with flared and loose and tight. So it should neither be too tight nor too baggy. But again, this needs to be tailored to your specific body type. But definitely trousers and jeans and a fitted long sleeve top. Next up is leather jacket, and Matilda's definitely a fan of a more cropped jacket. And again, with that middle path between not too oversized and not too tight. But again, I think you should do what makes you feel most comfortable. And I think at the end of the day, you just need the basics and essentials. And so, just any sort of leather jacket that speaks to you, it can be brown, it can be black, it can be suede, it can be distressed, it could be with tons of metals or no metals at all. So it's completely up to you. You should definitely play around with it and just check out your local thrift store and see what style works best for you. Next up for outerwear, we have trench coats and wool coats. And I wanted to start with trench coats because you can really get any type of trench coat you want, a long one, a shorter one, a fitted, a more oversized, with a belt, without a belt, double breasted, single breasted. You can get it in any color: khaki, olive, navy blue, black, etc. So, again, you should really tailor it to you, your stature, your proportions, and also what colors you like and what your wardrobe color palette consists of. But again, it's just important to get it in the high quality fibers. So for a trench coat, I would say either like a cotton blend or 100% cotton, but like a treated cotton to make it a little bit more water resistant. And with a long coat, I would definitely suggest wool, cashmere, alpaca, or camel. Last but not least, we have cardigans, and I feel like this is such a staple Scandi style, especially with the one button at the top fastened. You can really play with this with color, fabric, etc. Just make sure it's a good, sturdy one. And again, I think it also speaks to how important layering is. Just having like a basic white tee under like a really great quality knit. Same underneath your cardigan. Like just having that cutesy, dainty layering elements, I think are also a really big part of like Scandi style. So, in conclusion, it's really important for us to always make things our own, because at the end of the day, we know what works best on us, what makes us feel most comfortable and confident. And at the end of the day, what works for someone else may not always work for us and may not translate the same and end up looking the same. So, in 2025 and beyond, I really hope that we take a more nuanced approach to influencers and Pinterest. And instead of just succumbing to the urge to copy and paste, we really take a step back and analyze the elements that we appreciate in an outfit and then apply that to our own wardrobe, our own color palette, and our own bodies. So, thank you so much for watching the entirety of this video. I hope you guys have a wonderful holidays, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!